Welcome to the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. As you're watching the Solid Sports video blog, this is episode 48. Today's date is August 4th, 2018. Thank you for joining me. I'm Troy West as we get through another week of sports. Real quiet week, so this is probably going to be a short video today. Not a lot to talk about. It's mostly NFL's talk in this video, which a lot of people might be happy about. Baseball, not much going on. Just the regular season still rolling along, but I'm gonna talk about the Yankees and Red Sox series in a little bit. NBA, ain't nothing going on really in the NBA. All the big free agent moves have been made. Nobody said nothing or ran their mouth, even though I just read this morning about President Trump and LeBron, so that's a little bit of beef. I'll touch on that a little bit. But other than that, not a lot to talk about. But the NFL preseason kicked off with the Hall of Fame game Thursday night. And I give my top 5 wide receivers as well. But like I said, not a long video this week. It shouldn't be anyway, unless I start rambling and talking like I do sometimes. But thank everybody for the support as always. Before I get started, been slacking a little bit on my video game playthroughs though. Mega Man, I gotta catch up with that. God of War. 20XX, all that stuff, so I apologize for that. Been working and other stuff going on, so just say you had a chance to record like I really want to, but I got some free time this weekend, so I'm gonna try to do a lot, especially probably tomorrow. Probably do a lot of videos, video game playthrough videos before I start to work again. But go ahead and get started with the blog. Like I said, not really a lot to talk about. With baseball, of course, in the American League, you know, I'm about to talk about the Red Sox and the Yankees. They played the series. Red Sox already won the first 2 games of the series, so now I think they 9.5, 8.5 up on the Yankees, so that's a big lead. As the Red Sox starting to pull away, I'm starting to believe more and more in the Red Sox, man. Like, I doubted them. I still think they probably could lose in the playoffs, but look like they're gonna win this division. Most likely, unless the Yankees turn it on. Yankees got some injuries, you know, with Judge. He's hurt. Sanchez hurt. The pitcher's still here and there, even though both teams made moves at the deadline last week to improve their pitching. But the Red Sox are like the better team right now. Winning again last night, so they got 2 more games, a game today and a game Sunday night baseball tomorrow, which I might try to watch a little bit of tomorrow night. But other than that, in the American League, still the same contenders. Cleveland in control of the Central. Out west is still Houston, even though they've been, you know, sort of hit a bump in the road a little bit the last couple of weeks. In the National League, well, before I move on to the National League, American League, the Oakland A's still a surprise team. Them in Seattle. Seattle surprised me too, how they've been hanging on, speaking out west. Houston got a gap on those 2 teams, but those 2 teams are real strong wild card contenders. So definitely Oakland. Like I said, I can't barely name any players on the Oakland A's now. All I know is Chris Davis is not the Chris Davis that played for the Orioles. It's a black man, Chris Davis, that plays for the A's, that's hitting home runs all over the place. So hopefully if I lucky enough, I can watch some Oakland A's games or try to keep an eye on the Oakland A's. That's a team that has surprised me so far this season. But now I move on to the National League. The East, my Braves still holding on. They right there, first place, right behind the Phillies, which has been another surprising team. Nationals, I think, might have turned the corner now that they passed the deadline and Harper's still there. They've been playing a lot better since then. So maybe it was a mental thing and they getting healthier. So still a team to watch. It's the Nationals. So that National League East is going to be interesting for the rest of the year. The Central, Cubs, I think, started to take control. Brewers still hanging on. And Pittsburgh, of course, has been hot. But St. Louis struggled a little bit. You know, they got rid of their manager, Mike Matheny, about 2 weeks ago. And out west in the National League, it's the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks and the Rockies hanging in there. Giants still fighting. That'll be an interesting division. But I think the Dodgers, they made a lot of big moves, of course, getting Machado and making a couple of other moves. They got the I think the Doge, I think he's a second baseman, might be wrong, from the Twins. That was a big pickup, I think, a quiet pickup for the Dodgers last week as well. So they still a team to beat. Get Kershaw back healthy. They probably should take over that division in a little bit, pull away. But right now it's competitive though. But other than that, baseball season is long. So now next week it could be talk about 3 different teams, especially the National League. The National League is, almost the whole league still involved. The American League, pretty much the teams that's going to be in the playoffs already, So, but that's it with baseball. NBA, like I said, nothing. I'll barely, like I said, if I'm gonna show you my notes, there's nothing here. Real quiet week. Last week, I talked about Durant and McCollum, so they had a little beef or whatever. But this week, actually, just last night, LeBron James opened up that school back in his hometown in Akron. Been all over social media and all over the place in news, which is a great thing. He's done a lot for his community, hands down, probably more than almost anyone ever done. Paying for tuition for kids, he's done a lot. But I get up this morning and I seen a tweet. I don't have Twitter, but I seen a tweet. I've gone on sports networks or sports apps and stuff, and he pretty much was was getting on LeBron James, even bringing up Jordan, saying he liked Jordan better. And LeBron is, I think LeBron did an interview with somebody on CNN or something this last week, and Trump just responded to it, saying that whoever the guy was, I'm sorry I don't remember his name right now, was the dumbest man in America. And it was a bad tweet, and he took a little shot at LeBron, and LeBron ain't respond yet, but I'm guessing he's going to in some type of way. But I don't know, Trump is just a fool. I don't take him serious at all. Like, he just talk crap. He's just another goofy white businessman to me. And no offense by anybody, but that's just how I look at him. I don't need to see him as a president. And like I said, I feel politics is a bunch of garbage anyway, so I don't pay him no mind. I really don't. So, but it's just sad, that he just says what he want to say. If it was anybody else, I'm not even saying if it was Obama, because that's definitely Obama, but people would be criticizing him all the time. But the stuff that Trump has done in his past, and since he's been the president, is just unheard of, and he don't really get a lot of pushback, really. I mean, he really don't. I think if it was Obama, people be trying to say he should be impeached or something, but Trump been in trouble, have done things, he admitted, groping women, messing with the porn star, all this other stuff he done in his past, and I heard nobody say he should be put out the office or anything, so that's just crazy. But I could care less, honestly. I just really pretty much touched on it because it's big news, and there's nothing else to talk about for us, the NBA, because everything is done. All the free agencies. The only person still, which is unofficial, but Carmelo Anthony, still waiting to get signed by the Rockets. So that's basically where he's probably gonna go. But other than that, all the big moves has been made already. So probably by September, I'll start doing the NBA list, like top 5 centers, top 5. I'll break down all the positions and stuff, and I'm gonna do a big preview, and I'm gonna do a big NFL preview next month as well. So look out for all that. But as far as that, nothing else to really talk about with basketball. Like I said, nothing going on. Nobody said nothing. Nobody beefing at this moment, other than this latest thing with Trump. So, but I could care less about Trump. So I'm just gonna move on if y'all don't mind. NFL, a lot of NFL stuff to get into. Hall of Fame game was Thursday. Ravens and Bears kicked off the preseason. This is what I guess I was just about to rant a little bit about preseason, how people take it, how some fans take it. I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of the Ravens actually too. But some people say I'm a fake fan because I don't get emotional about it, like when they lose or when they win. Because I watched so much football in my life. I'd be mad for like 5 minutes and then I'm over it because I see, all right, well, they missed an assignment here, or this happened, or this happened. I kind of understand why they lost, so it don't bother me. I just think about well, if they would have done this better, they would have won. You know, wait to get the next game, move on to the next game, or next year, or whatever. You know, but some fans are just, but they, I mean, you know, ain't nothing wrong with being a fan like that either. But I'm just saying, I don't get emotional about it like that. But that being said, I'm just saying, I put a post on Instagram, you know, sort of saying the same thing I'm about to say. Like, preseason don't mean nothing. If you lose, so what? You can go back in history. It's teams that done well in the preseason and didn't do well in the regular season, and vice versa. It's been both. It's been teams that done bad in the preseason, it's been bad in the regular season, or both. You know, preseason don't mean anything. All preseason is for, you should look for in your team is if the first unit look good. That's usually a good sign. Like if the first unit come in there, score a touchdown, quick, you know, nice good drive for offense, defense the same thing. You know, they get a thread out or something, and they get off the field. That's all you want. Another thing you don't want no injuries. So other than that, I don't care if my team goes 0-4 in the preseason, as long as they look sharp on both sides of the ball and play well. Not saying that the backups should do well too. That's good too, but it's irrelevant because you know they barely gonna play unless you get hurt. You know, just as long as they look good. Like that's all that matters. You know, some people just takes it too for like people be arguing about a preseason game. Like it was a preseason game. Like they're not running the plays they're gonna run in the regular. Like especially in the first couple of preseason games. The third game is the real game. You know, the third game is like almost like a real NFL game. All the rest of them games, the fourth game is nothing because you basically try to avoid injuries. The first game is the same way. Second game, starters might play a little bit, but the third game is the big game that you should look for and see if your team does well. Or probably really worry, like if they win that game, then that probably mean a little bit more something than the other three. And of course the Ravens and the Bears, they got to play 5 preseason games, so probably that the first 2 they really ain't gonna probably do a lot of nothing. So, but still, football is football, so I was excited anyway. Of course, the big story Thursday night was Lamar Jackson. That's what everybody was excited to see. So was I. He had his moments, you know. I think he just ain't used to the speed of the game yet. Like some of the times he tried to scramble, you know, he got caught. You know, in the college he probably would have broke most of those runs for touchdowns, but in the NFL, no, you're not going to do that every time. And he probably really realized that now. You know, getting his first action, a little inaccurate throwing the ball, which you know they said he was a little inaccurate. He made some good throws as well. So it's just his first time getting his feet wet. I think he'll play a lot better next week when he gets some time. Now that he felt the speed of the game, you know, because you can't simulate stuff. I mean, you can practice. Practice is good, but you can't simulate the real game. So I think he'll play a lot better next week. But that was the only day I pretty much was looking forward to in the game the other night. But the rest of the teams I think start playing next Thursday night. So that's what preseason start probably be games from Thursday to Sunday. So your favorite teams will probably be playing soon. But other than that, you know, nothing else really to talk about, but do my list in a few moments. But I am excited about football season. Like I said, I'm gonna do starting when the season starts, I'm gonna do 2 blogs a week. I'm gonna do a Wednesday blog, just pretty much focus on the Thursday, whatever the Thursday night matchup is in the NFL, and probably still touch on other stuff too if something big happens during the week. I'm gonna start doing 2 blogs a week. I'm gonna do a big breakdown of the NFL season as well, but like I did last year. So, but let's move on to my wide receiver list. It was kind of the first 2 guys was easy. Probably like I said, just like the running back list. The first 2 guys was easy, but the last 3 you probably could fit, like probably could name 8 or 9 guys that could be on this list. But the first 2 are obvious to me, and you'll see who they are. I started at number 5. Number 5, I got Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's stuck in my list because, like I said, I like receivers that can produce no matter what, no matter if your quarterback goes down, which Evans for certain reasons, well, with Jameis Winston not being consistent, but still put up the numbers that he put up. I think that's talent. He just on pure talent. He's big, he's fast, he got good hands. So I like him. I got him at number 5 on my list. Number 4, AJ Green with the Bengals. Kind of a veteran award. I'm awarding him for his consistency, and he's had mediocre quarterback play most of his career. Dealing with Dalton, even though Andy Dalton ain't been too bad, but he ain't been that great either. But AJ Green continued to put the numbers. He never really had a good number 2 on the other end, so he getting double team and triple team. He's still producing. So he got my respect. So he's number 4, and I see a lot of them too. So since I live in Baltimore, I see a lot of Ravens games. Number 3, DeAndre Hopkins. I had to get him on this list. He's the same thing. Houston, when the last time Houston had a real consistent quarterback? Deshaun Watson looks like he's going to be their quarterback once he get healthy. But other than like the last few years, they had like 3 or 4 or 5 different type of quarterbacks. T.J. Yates and Brian Hoyer. Just a lot of mediocre quarterbacks, and he still put up numbers. And the same thing, he don't really have a good number 2 on this side either. So he's getting double team, triple team, and he still produced. And he wasn't on my list last year, because I looked at my list from last year. I was like, dang, like, you know, I surprised I didn't have him on my list, but he's on it this year. Number 2, Julio Jones, no brainer for me. Pure talent wise, he can probably some people probably say he is the best. But he do got a consistent quarterback in Matt Ryan, you know. But like some of the plays, especially in the playoffs for the last couple of years, he made some huge plays in the playoffs. He's just an all-around good receiver. I think I had him number 1 last year over who's number 1 is. We probably already know by now who's number 1 is, because it's a no-brainer as well to me. But Julio Jones, expect him to have a big year. He had a little contract trouble, but look like they got the unofficial handshake from the Falcons. I think they're gonna move his money around so he gets some more money up front. So look like he's happy in camp. So we'll see what kind of year he's had in the Falcons. Period. That's an interesting team to look out for this year. And number 1, Antonio Brown, no doubt. The guy's just talented. Like, I don't know how he does it. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. He's not the fastest. He just makes plays. Like, he can just throw the ball and he just goes to get it. And big moments as well. And I guess, like I said, maybe because I see him a lot because he's a Steeler, and I'm in Baltimore and I see a Ravens games a lot. You know, they put it on a lot of AFC South games. Like, even if the Ravens not playing, you're going to see a Steelers game or a Bengals game or a Browns game, you know. So I see a lot of them, but this guy's just unbelievable. Like, how he fights for the ball and just does it, his route running. He's just amazing. So, and I would like to say, I think he was 2nd on my list, or 3rd. I think I had Odell Beckham on this list, which I only put him on the list because his injury. So I gotta see if he can still produce again. There's a lot of guys can be on this list. I like Landry for the Browns. You know, he used to play for the Dolphins. Stephon Diggs is coming up to me as a good receiver. It's a lot of guys. I mean, it could be on this list. Sammy Watkins, even though he's a little inconsistent, but still talented. It's just there's a lot of guys, like I said, that could be on this list, but these are my 5, and at least going into this year, and that could change. By next year we'll see how different the lists look, or if I do another list before then. So let's go through them again. Number 5, Mike Evans for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 4, AJ Green for the Bengals. Number 3, DeAndre Hopkins for the Houston Texans. Number 2, Julio Jones for the Atlanta Falcons. And number 1, no doubt, is Antonio Brown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's my top 5 wide receiver list. If you're watching, disagree or agree, definitely leave a comment below. I'm going to put the poll up on through the channel. And if you hit the little eye thing on your screen, you'll be able to vote. who you think is the best, and we'll debate from there if you want. But that's it this week. Like I said, not a lot to talk about. You know, summertime, you know, it's always a slow time of the year for sports. Like I said about my video game playthroughs, been slacking. Like I said, I know I've been slacking. I'm gonna try to do some more videos, especially the next 2 days. Try to finish up a lot of my projects, especially the God of War. I haven't done that in a while, probably like 4 days. So I wanna definitely get at least 1 or 2 videos of that in this weekend. But other than that, that's it. Like I said, thanks for all the support that I'm getting. You know, I post some more stuff on social media, remind you to watch the vlog. Thank you everybody, my family, my man, Fat Man. I know Derek probably watching as well, my man. And that'll do it this week, y'all. Next week, we'll go back to defense. So I'll probably do corners next week, top 5 cornerbacks next week on the blog, and if something happened, of course I'll talk about it. But that'll do it. Episode 48 is concluded. Go on the channel, watch a lot of my other projects if you're into video games. Check out my playthroughs, my retro series playthroughs. Or anything that you might like. Go back and watch some of my old blogs. Everything I set up, I try to put in a playlist and organize so you can easily find it. But that's it. I'm Troy West, and thank you for watching. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much.